What's going on, people? Yeah, I'm looking like it's 20 degrees out here because it's just a little chilly out. YouTube doesn't make any sense sometimes. I put a video out about, of course, the hottest topic in the globe right now, coronavirus and the vulnerable population or people. And YouTube took the video down. But my other coronavirus videos are up. The understanding was they're afraid that my video might reach minors. I just don't understand the logic in that. I don't understand the logic in that. I'm talking about a pandemic. I'm talking about a pandemic and how it's affecting the world and a subset of a population. And they took it down because they were afraid that minors would watch my video. Meanwhile, there are tons of videos out there proclaiming and making content about coronavirus in a multitude of capacities and a multitude of messages that are being shared by way of opinion, by way of reporting, by way of just giving their thoughts on what's taking place. And mine was no different. So I should try and experiment, but I'm not going to do it and I'm not going to say it. So this is the lockdown. We're in lockdown. We're in lockdown. Um, Amidst all the realities of what's going on, what I anticipate within the next week, starting tomorrow, um, is what's going to happen with these banks. People stopped working. Not only have people stopped working because let me say it like this: their people are not working in the streets. They're not going to their, places, workplaces, and places of business because they're ordered to stay home. Many are afforded the opportunity to work at home. There are those who are also not working um, by force, not to any choice of their own, and they're not getting paid. You know, but what's going to happen to the banks? I'm interested to see something. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with these banks. Those of us who are in the know, who understand how the banking system works, we know that the banks do not have the monies that the people think they have, or some think they have. So when you have an entire community running to these banks, trying to close their accounts, when you have a bunch of people running to the banks trying to close their accounts or take their monies out, we already know the banks don't have the money there to give to the people. So what's going to happen? You're going to see another fiasco take place. There's talks now that the federal government is going to issue checks. If you make 75, the talk is, this is just talk, speculation, whatever, because I'm not sure if anything has been finalized yet. But the talk is, if you make $75,000 or less, expect to see a $1,200 check, right? If one person makes $75,000 or less. Expect to see a $1,200 check for 1 month. If you make above that, above $75,000 check, they're taking away $5 per $100 that you make above $75,000. Up to 99,000. Those who make above 99,000 will get nothing. Will get Nathan. So, what's going to happen with these banks? What's going to happen to people who do work but do not have bank accounts? How will they receive checks? They may, really work. In New York, we have check cashing systems where people, they receive their checks and they run to these check cashing places to cash their checks. It's not a banking system. It's just a service, a financial service that the community, that these, check cashing stores give to the people. They have to pay a certain amount of fee. They don't get the exact number of what's written on the check because they have to pay a fee for that. And then they receive their check in cash. Those individuals don't have bank accounts, or those who use that service for whatever reason and who do not have bank accounts, how will they receive their funds? How? If anyone has the answer, please jot it down in the comment, because I don't see an answer to that. There's some places that are capping there's some banks that I was told, I don't know how true this is, but they're actually capping the amount of money you can withdraw from the banks. Never mind that in the United States you have the FDIC, quote unquote, insurance. If you hold within a certain amount, I believe up to $250K in the bank, your money is proverbially or presumably insured. But if you're told that you can only take out, for example, $5,000, if you have that, but that's the most you could take out. If you have more, you're dead on that for the day. I don't know if it's day by day or whatever. That's because these banks don't have all the monies at that one time for the people. They take your money and they do as they wish with it. Create loans, do investments. They don't have it in those banking houses. So what's going to happen with these bank runs that's going to take place? Because now it's about minimizing the spread, taking measures to minimize the spread, even though they're saying that there's a 40 to 80% chance that people are going to contract the disease. So they're enforcing social distancing if you have to go outside, and they're enforcing quarantine if, to minimize the spread. But if you have to now feed your family and you have your money in the bank, what's going to happen? I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see what's going to happen. This is just sad, people. It's just all around sad. This is just all around sad. We know that there's, we're hoping at this point that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You could be as mystical, metaphysical, philosophical as you want. But this is not easy at all. And it's sad. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. And then when you're censored from speaking your truth or your ideas, that adds to another layer of difficulty that's present amidst all of this that's going on. Okay? Because the governor mentioned something about he asked the federal government to, keyword, decentralize. the system that was previously in place, where I guess the governments, the local governments, had to grow, had to, get their supplies or get permission for medical equipment or whatever have you for their hospitals to help the people. They had to go through this arduous, long process through the FDA. They had to go through all this red tape, and Governor Cuomo asked the president to give him the opportunity by decentralizing the process. Decentralization, what does that remind people of who watch my videos and who know what most of my content is about? It's about allowing the people to make the decisions, or to have an opportunity to enact their power, instead of relying on one system. Doesn't it remind you of cryptocurrency? So when these banks, within a very, this is quick. This is going to happen real quick. First is about medical again, making sure that that is neutralized, or at least there's some type of control. I don't know how they're going to control it, but the best way right now is to keep everyone inside. You have to deal with that factor, the number one factor. Then, you have the financial aspect. When these banks get hit, like they are, or have already, and will continue to get hit as this time goes by, because we haven't faced the worst yet. The governor mentioned that this could take 4 months, 6 months, 9 months, but no one knows. So when the banks get hit hard, right? Because they will. Crypto will prove its worth and value, in my opinion, with the mechanisms that are in place in the blockchain and how it works. And how, when you eliminate third parties, and when you eliminate the middleman, when you eliminate the go-between, and it's just you and number two, it's peer to peer, no go-between, we're going to see the true power of what crypto is bringing, has brought to the world, in my opinion. That's it. Take care of yourselves. Be safe out here. Be safe out here. Try to be well informed, and even in all of this, try to take your time to enjoy some good that's present throughout all this despair. We just got to allow ourselves to recognize the good that we have, even though we're going through this difficult time. Be well.